Hello, everybody, and welcome to my pre-football Crudcast. So I want to do a couple of things here. Basically, I want to give you a basic injury report rundown, and then I would like to give you some start-'em advice. Some start-'em advice. I don't think the grammar was right on that, but I would like to give you some advice on start-'em sit-'ems. And then I give you a few thoughts on the league, blah, 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 a BLEE-BLAH, and that is it. So let's begin. It's got quite a long list through the NFL, so if you want to just fast forward, I will of course, give you sections, and you don't have to listen to the injury report. But hey, it's mainly based on fantasy football and other guys I found notable. Basically, the only other guys I really knew, which is sad because I really need to study the defensive side of things after watching so much football. You'd think I have absorbed some of that, but no. Anywho, Atlanta Falcons. Our Gage, he is doubtful with an ankle injury. Over in the Ravens, Lamar Jackson is questionable. He has a stomach illness. My thoughts are probably he'll play. It's not COVID. Hollywood Brown is questionable with an ankle. Rashad Bateman, we all know, is out with that growing. I believe he's on IR. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Bills, Gabriel Davis, the wide receiver that I drafted and then dropped. He's pretty much the number 4 guy right now because Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Schmeasley. And then, of course, there's Stephon Diggs, the man, the GOAT. So, anyways, he's questionable. Over in the Panthers, we all saw last night, Christian McCaffrey, day-to-day with a hamstring. I'm thinking 3 to 4 weeks, like I said in the chat, at least, especially with the way he plays. I mean, geez, that's not good. And then J.C. Horn over there as well, broken foot. And it said the head coach said it might be a couple of bones, not even just one. By watching the replay, it was just like, how the hell did he break his foot? Sometimes they just get their cleats stuck in the field, and bad things happen. Anyways, over to the Chicago Bears. Da Bears. Andy Dalton's got a bruised knee. He is out. Darnell Mooney is questionable with a groin. Over to the Bengals. T. Higgins, believe it or not, is questionable, and it is unspecified why. I don't know. So, T. Higgins owners think it's either Mike Guy. I think it's Mike Guy with T. Higgins. Anyways, either that or it's Downtown Guy. Anywho, over to the Cleveland Browns, the Brownies, and the Dog Pound. D. Felton, this new running back made receiver, is questionable with a hip. I didn't see anything in the game that made me be like, oh, he's not going to play. I think he might go. But anyways, it's questionable. So watch out for that. He's on Johnny's team anyway. He's on his bench. Just got scooped up off of waivers. A. Schwartz. I think it's Anthony Schwartz. He's probable with a knee injury. Apparently, according to Downtown Guy, he is the next Tyreek Hill, but he's really not. ODB, Odelius Beckham Jr., probable with a knee. I haven't heard anything that he's for sure to go yet, but I guess we'll see. Clowney is questionable with a knee injury, and then Jarvis Landry is out with an MCL sprain. Cowboys, Amari Cooper is questionable with ribs. It's unknown if he's going to play yet. My thoughts are he's going to. And then Gallup's on IR with a calf injury for a minimum of 3 weeks. Broncos, Noah Fant is questionable with an ankle injury. Cortland Sutton, questionable with a hip injury. The linebacker Chubb, he is out with an ankle injury until late November. Patrick, the wide receiver, T. Patrick, is questionable with a hip, and it looks hazy as of now if he's going to play or not. He's been getting some touchdowns, I believe. Darby, the cornerback, our Darby, is on IR with a hamstring injury. Over to the Lions, the Loins. Go Lions. T. Williams, the receiver, is out with a concussion. I think he's a receiver. And then D Swift, your boy, is questionable with a groin. Texans, Tyrod Taylor on IR, hamstring. Danny Amendola, questionable, hamstring, mid-October at the earliest. Nico Collins, out with a shoulder, another wide receiver there. He's coming back late October, possibly. Deshaun Watson, he is out with legal concerns and a foot injury. It is unknown what the crud is going on. On Instagram, everybody's trying to speculate that he's still getting his money, which as far as I know, he is. Way to go, Deshaun. Way to get the happy ending and the money, too. Zach Pascal and the Colts, over to the Colts, is probable with an illness. I believe it is not COVID. Pittman, the receiver, junior, questionable with an ankle. Sean Guy, got to watch out for that. Carson Wentz, questionable with 2 ankle injuries. His right foot especially not looking good. Anybody who's playing anybody on the Colts, got to watch out for that. T.Y. Hilton's on IR with neck surgery. So he could be done for the year as far as I know. Jaguars, Laviska Shenault, probable with a shoulder injury. ETN on IR. Pretty much, I think he's out for the season. Chiefs, various players injured, none in the world of fake football as far as I know. And by the way, this is not 100% accurate, but it's an injury report, so you're welcome. The Chargers, Austin Eckler, probable, ankle injury. Looked good in weeks 1 and 2. Congratulations, Luke Guy. Rams, Darrell Henderson, questionable with ribs. And then obviously we know Cam Akers is on IR with an Achilles injury. Ben Guy with Henderson, you got to play him if he's ready to go. With a rib injury, I think that's one you can afford to have. Obviously, Sony Michel's probably going to get some time, though. And maybe you're right, it might not work out for you. So if he's... Tough call, but we'll get to that later. Dolphins, Tua is out with fractured ribs. Fuller is probable with personal squabbles. Nobody didn't specify what it is. Then I believe it's Allen Hurns. Another wide receiver is out with a wrist injury. He won't be back till late November. Vikings, Dalvin Cook is probable with an ankle sprain. As much as people are saying an okay Dalvin Cook is better than most other running backs, putting him out there with an ankle sprain is, I don't know, but he's probable. He's got the P logo, okay? K Nwagnuwo is out with a knee injury, no timetable. Another running back for the Vikings. So, and then obviously Irv Smith Jr. with the meniscus surgery is, he's completely out. Over to the Patriots, Deontay Harris is questionable with a finger injury, limited at practice. I think he's going to play. Over to the Giants, Kadarius Toney is questionable with an ankle injury, and he is still to be decided if he is going to play or not. They have another tight end, K. Smith, who is questionable with a knee injury. Kenny Golladay is probable with a hip injury. And then we all know Saquon Barkley is still making the injury list with that knee. But he is probable, and everybody expects this to be his best game yet. Saints, the Aints, rather. Michael Thomas is on IR with a surgery to his deltoid, and there are ankle ligaments as well that I feel are being worked on. I don't know if the surgery was on just the deltoid or the ankle ligaments are healing, but he also has COVID-19. Congratulations, Michael Thomas. You're probably not going to play this year, so whoever scooped him might want to drop him at some point. I don't know. I think it's Marcus Lattimore. Lattimore, the cornerback, is out, and he is having surgery on a chip bone in his thumb. There are many other injuries on the Saints to be looking out for, not in the realm of fantasy football. But if you have the Saints D, obviously defenses across the league, you're going to have to check that on your own. Eagles, Miles Sanders, questionable with his chest injury. It's up in the air if he is going to play, I guess. Zach Ertz is out with an illness, and there are two other injured tight ends on the Eagles roster. Steelers. Jay Hayden, cornerback, is probable with a growing injury. Probable. I can't speak properly, but that's just part of my neurological disorder, I guess. Ben Roethlisberger is probable with a pectoral injury. Probably not good if your quarterback has a injured pec, but Ben Roth's pretty tough. I guess he's going to play through it. Deontay Johnson is, or Deonta, whatever, however you say it, the star wide receiver, is questionable with a knee. I watched the game. Personally, I think he's going to play. TJ Watt, the linebacker, is questionable with a growing injury. Over to the 49ers, Josh Norman, the cornerback, is probable with an ankle injury. Trey Sermon is questionable with a concussion. I think he is not going to play. Jermichael Hasty, is out with a high ankle sprain. Elijah Mitchell is questionable with a shoulder injury. Jeff Wilson Jr. is out with a shoulder. He's expected back in mid-November. Apparently, Mike Guy thinks he can trade for him. Raheem Mostert is on IR with a knee, and he is not starting for anybody. Jay Hurd is on IR with a knee. Seahawks, Freddie Swain, questionable, back injury. D. Eskridge, the other wide receiver there, both wide receivers, he is also questionable with a concussion. Not sure where the concussion protocol is at these days, but he's questionable. Over to the Buccaneers, Jason Pierre-Paul, now the linebacker, former D lineman, is doubtful with a shoulder injury. That's a mouthful, so I am doing my best. I promise I am not what is known as retarded. I just got this is my first time doing this, for one. Anyways, Jay Mickens, questionable, abdominal. Antonio Brown, out, COVID-19. He's on the COVID list. Titans, over to the Titans. A.J. Brown, the wideout, is probable with a knee. He is, all signs point to yes, that he is going to play. A. Fursker, I believe the tight end for the Titans, is questionable with a knee. And R. Saffold, the offensive lineman rather, is the questionable with a shoulder. Questionable. I have a Michigan accent. I'm just going to leave it at that. I really hate that I can't speak this fast, and I realize that these guys have harder jobs than I thought. Anyways, over to the Washington football team to round things out. Antonio Gibson. Is his name Antonio or is it Antoine? I think it's Antonio. Oh my God. I apologize, downtown guy. Hopefully you're not listening to this. You can just always check Sleeper, or this was all provided by covers.com. There are plenty of places to find injuries, but I'm just giving you my rundown. He is probable with a shoulder. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he is out. Right hip subluxation. Unknown when he's coming back. Curtis Samuel, he's on IR with a growing injury. Woo! That was difficult, to say the least. All right, baby. Stardom Sit'ems. BLEE-BLAH edition. Let's go right over to DOGECOIN. Ben Guy. Everyone is loading up on the New York Giants' brief success, even though they are losing. So I would not play Shepard over Evans, especially if Washington wises up to the fact that he's really the only thing working for them. If you ask me, we will see. But honestly, I really think by watching the footage that if you stop Shepard, you kind of stop the Giants. But we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, I want to continue on this. If you want to play Shepard, I would sub for A.J. Brown, but that also makes no sense considering he looks ready to go. And just if you're wondering about Mike Evans, I had him all last year. He's an amazing player. He's just not the typical wideout, I guess, with the flashiness. Anyway, if you're wondering what the experts think over at Fantasy Pros, if you type it into the calculator on Stardom Sit'em that they have over there, if you guys ever want to use that. The experts like Evans 88% over Shepard, which there's still an honorable 12% there. But I don't know, man. I hate the Giants' whole everything this year. It's just really cringeworthy. I think it's just stealing a lot of headlines. One, because it's a New York team. Two, because FLANAGUY's right there in New York, so of course he's not going to shut up about it, and he's a hardcore Giants fan, which we all know. So he's biased as fuck, and honestly, I want the world of Eli Manning back and Tiki Barber and Strahan. I don't like the attitude of the Giants this year. Johnny, you're never going to win a championship even if you beat me this week. Anyways, Ben, you know, I got more to say on your stardom situms. The Raiders D is a good matchup for Gaskin. I'd play him over Patterson and Murray. And if Henderson is good to go, same thing. Maybe in a big maybe Patterson over Henderson, depending on the outlook there, because maybe Sony Michel steals a little bit of the action, but you're going to have to watch out for that, because if it's not a major injury for Henderson, then I think it's a fool's mistake to play him, or to not play him, rather, with the way that the Rams are playing, and they got a big matchup against the Buccaneers, so I don't know, man. This is what I would do if I were you completely on your lineup. I play Evans at my flex. You already played DJ Moore, which is a great move. And honestly, kudos to you, because I don't know if I would have done that. And I wish I would have got this out before the game, but I didn't. A.J. Brown at wide receiver. Gaskin at running back. And then Henderson with Patterson Murray as a sub if he cannot play. And obviously I like Murray against the Lions. That's why I picked him up. And if you're wondering, I was considering playing him against Johnny this week before we made the trade, because he's playing the Lions. And I think it's a great matchup. Maybe you can't lose. You keep scoring a lot of points anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. Good luck, man. Good luck. Over to your opponent, Luke the Beast 34. Luke the Beast 34. Pains me to say this, but I might play the Tampa D over the Giants, even though they're playing the Rams. I have Stafford personally. Pains me to say this, but I could see him throwing a couple interceptions. ESPN's hyping Stafford up. I got Stafford late in the draft. We know Stafford is amazing, but we also know he can throw interceptions and turn the ball over and get sacked a lot. If you don't know that, I guess you haven't been watching Lions football. Now he's on a new team. Obviously, the Rams D is playing much better than the Lions D ever will in their life. But it's something for you to consider, or maybe you could stream a defense. I didn't have a chance to check out the defenses on waivers, but personally, I don't know. The Giants, I watched their point totals. I looked them up because I didn't want to tell you this if the Giants had played good so far, but it'll just depend on how Heineke plays and how Daniel the Cruddy Jones plays. So, I don't know, man. Not the best or the worst really play for the Giants for you. It's kind of a coin flip, though. So if it lands the wrong way, you might regret playing the Giants when there were other options for you. Something for you to think about. Otherwise, fairly good. I mean, fairly obvious lineup plays for you. James Conner seems to be your weak spot. Maybe pick up the rookie Chuba Hubbard, or even flirt with J.D. McKissick or somebody else, just to, if you can squeeze him in on your team, which I know you don't think you have that much room. And James Conner can always come around. Honestly, I watched the highlights. It's not like he looks bad or anything. It's just that Kyler Murray likes to take off a lot. Ben, guys, similar thing with Lamar Jackson, Jamar Laxon. They steal a lot of the rushing yards away. So you might not want to play James Conner all the time going forward. I really think that's the only weak spot of the team, but you got to play a running back. So we'll see what you do there, buddy. Good luck. I picked you to win, but we'll see what happens. Got the strongest wide receivers in the league for sure. Just very well spread out, and they're all dominant players on their squad. Tyreek Hill had a huge down week against me last week, which hurt you a lot, but you might have still not won with how much I was winning. Anyways, P.S. I think I have a bad matchup this week. Lonely Kickers in Space Force, formerly the Space Force Butt Generals. Mom, possibly Jamal Williams over James White. And I know my mom doesn't like advice. She just shoots it down a lot of the time, but maybe she'll listen. The experts like Jamal over James White, but I don't really know. Actually, I hate to say this, but let me see here really quickly. Bear with me. Who the hell is New England playing? They're playing New Orleans. So I think I even wrote it in my notes. Baltimore is actually, I did, so I didn't even need to look that up and ruin the flow of the show. Baltimore is worse against the run than Nolans this year. Believe it or not, if you look that stat up over at, where did I find this, which you can do too. It's footballdb.com. Football database will tell you which defenses have done what against running backs and so on and so forth, receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends, all that good stuff for you. So courtesy of that, you might want to be considering Jamal Williams. I watched the Lions game last week. I was able to watch every single NFL game. If you think I'm just talking out of my butt, I probably am, but at least I watched the games. He's a big part of what the Lions do, and he looks good when he gets the ball. So I don't know if he was just underrated in Green Bay or Aaron Jones was just stealing the show, but something to think about for Mom to play him over James White. But however, I do like James White all year long, the way he's used in that offense, and he looks good even when he runs the ball. But you can count on him to probably get 4 or 5 catches a game, especially with Mac Jones needing to check down more than other veteran quarterbacks because he's just looking for the best option. And New England likes to pass to their running backs. Anywho, Space Force Generals. You got to pay attention to Mitchell. Obviously, I'm sure you are, Sean Guy, but you got to pay attention to Elijah Mitchell and Jacobs' injuries. If Mitchell is good, I think he's your best bet. And then, I can't believe I'm saying this, but possibly DJ Chark over Pittman due to the Wentz injury. Rieger and Ayuk, hard to call still. They have big play potential, especially Rieger, but, being their return man, he's got the speed, but I guess, Sean Guy, this kind of shows how your year is going if you're considering playing DJ Chark with how crappy Jacksonville is over Pittman with the injured Wentz, and they're not even on fire, so to speak, yet, especially in the passing game. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Good luck to you, Sean Guy. I don't know, man. Things change. That's the best thing I can say. Also, maybe not. Kam A, over to the Kam Ayy's. I am so white. Anyways, you got to monitor Hollywood Brown. He might not play if he might not play. If not, possibly Deontay Johnson, depending on if he's going to play. Easy sub is Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire, despite the last week's flaws, the fumble at the end, and I don't know. If you're just thinking his shit's weak, I understand. But you got to watch that injury on Hollywood Brown. I also think Edwards-Helaire is due for a better game this year. You're off to a good start with Cooks' game, obviously, last night, which still is tonight for me. It's 7:45 in the morning here. I was up watching that game. And then, obviously, CMC going down. Spartan Trooper does not kneel. I got a quick one for you. Mike Williams over Edmonds if it were my team. That's all I got. Burrr. I am not... Your name is too sus. I don't know. I don't like it. I liked your other name better. But I'm calling you Burr, like Gucci Man. Anyway, I'm still really white. And experts like Boyd over Singletary. However, I think Singletary has potential to be better. Those percentages are really low, so most experts are betting on Boyd. Tough call. Decent numbers from Boyd, and it's he's due for a touchdown. So maybe that's an easy call for you because you think maybe he's about to get one, and Burrow, like your team name, will start lighting up the scoreboard like we know he can do. Obviously, he's moving around a little more gingerly after the injury. Singletary, if he does get you points, it's most likely going to be with catches and yards and big plays, and he may not find the end zone like he did on that last big play last week. Anyways, Javonte, however, on your bench against the Jets is a much more popular option on Fantasy Pros. 47% of experts like him versus Tyler Boyd. And if you're wondering what I think, I would easily play him. And if Boyd goes off, then so be it. But I just feel like pound for pound, your safest move with insurance is to play Javonte. I mean, I guess what I want to know is how do you not see him as a game plan in the game plan against, I believe, the Jets. Yeah, they're playing the Jets. So to me, I just think he's going to be a big part of that game. And with Zach Wilson struggling, and he is going to struggle against the Broncos. Like, even if he has some moments like the rookie Davis Mills did last night, I think for the most part, Broncos win no matter what. If I was a betting man, that would be one I'd be looking at depending on the spread. I still like Devonta Smith. He almost had more points last week than he did. There were a couple of unfortunate events. Lemony Snicket's, if I remember correctly. He's a big part of that offense. If Hurst keeps it up, I like it going forward all year long, depending on their health. Nice scoop on Gano, the kicker. And if Daniel Jones is running for his life, which I know he will be, and giving FLANAGUY something to cheer about in the One Shining Moment song plays for Johnny, then Gano is going to be all over the place. And it's a new world we're living in where the fantasy football quarterbacks, you want them to have rushing yards. You almost need them to have rushing yards to be the best team in the league, it seems like this year. Just like everybody's going for it on fourth down, and all the defensive players are doing the false start motion. I don't know. These are just little things I'm noticing while I'm watching every single game. They're trends. Anyways, that's it on your game. Over to no, it's not, because over to IPAs with my boys. Triple C, you're an adult. You'll figure it out. Just kidding, everybody. I digress. Drop Deshaun Watson. Or not. If Harris plays and Swift doesn't, put him in at running back and play Ruggs over Waddle with Brissett and vice versa. So if that made sense to you, that's how it was on the notes. Kamara should bounce back no matter who he plays, and probably won't play that bad. Carolina has a good run defense, so yeah. Harris in New England. Yeah, I mean, if he plays and Swift doesn't, put him in at running back and play Ruggs over Waddle with Brissett. Yeah. And vice versa. So you got to watch. Triple C, you got injuries to watch, buddy. Swift's injured. Harris is injured, but it's up to you you're an adult. You'll figure it out. Anyways, Slick equals fraud. No, now Slick is fraud once again. Depending on Henderson, I like Mike Davis. What did I say Henderson for? I'm going over your team to see what I'm talking about. I'm getting mixed up in this. Like, I'm not a typical podcaster, and I am in over my head at the end of my night here. But let me go to your team here and see what I'm talking about. Do you even have a Henderson? The thing is, I do this on my iNotes, and they do autocorrect. Oh, it's because you have Sony Michel. I get it now. All right, so depending on Darrell Henderson, I like Mike Davis. So if Henderson cannot go, I like Sony Michel. 3% of experts on fantasy pros like Sony Michel as things are right now today. So it's something for you to watch. I really think Sony Michel could break out if he gets the play. So Sean Guy, you really dropped the ball on that. I don't know. You were all gun ho on picking him up, and then you just you just hit us with a crossover and went the other way. I like Higgins. I guess I like Higgins. No, excuse me. No. Just forget everything I said about Higgins. What I mean to say is I guess T. Higgins is questionable. So I did refer to that earlier in the injury report. I don't know what it is, but I guess it's something for you to watch according to Cover's website. Experts like James Robinson over Davis. I'm not sold on that, especially because Arizona has a better run defense this far. I know it's a huge sleeper, but if Mooney plays, I like him on some random shit over T. Higgins. Maybe next week you try that. We'll see. But I drafted Mooney, so I'm a little bit biased, and the Steelers secondary is not the best at the moment. So obviously T. Higgins looking pretty solid for that. My notes are so choppy, and I always think I'm going to know what I mean. I'm going to have to find a way to improve that. But basically, Slick equals fraud. Something to monitor there with Mike Davis over Sony Michel, maybe, depending on how things work out. And then, obviously the experts are still looking over at James Robinson. But let me go to your game. That'll be easier. So, obviously Mike Davis playing the Giants. And then, Robinson's playing against Arizona. So even though the experts are saying that, I really don't like James Robinson. I actually really hate the Jaguars against the Cardinals. It would be a big shocker and a lot of people making money in Vegas if the Cardinals lose that game. Over to Schtick. Screw you. No logo, no analysis. JK, LOL. Pick up a player, you bozo. I think you're missing a spot on your bench, but honestly, I wouldn't change much. Maybe Zach Moss has some goal line scores, but I don't know. Hard to play Fuller with the Brissett starting, and I don't even know if he's gonna play. According to all the reports, he's still having some personal issues. Good luck with Juju Smith-Schuster. He's already playing better than when I had him last year, and I think that rounds us out. So hopefully you can make sense of my this and that kind of brain right now. It's not making a lot of sense to me, but I guarantee if you play it back, it means something because my notes were somewhat accurate. Here's my conclusions. My predictions that I posted and pinned to the chat are more based on matchups than anything, like which team is playing which defense. Looks like Ben Guy is definitely living on the edge as far as stardom situms, but he puts up big points so far, so maybe he knows what he's doing. Sean Guy with a lot to prove and the weakest link so far. Sean Guy, you are the weakest link, but we don't just kick you off the show because we got, 12 more weeks of football minimum with the extended game this year. You usually make the playoffs, and you're something of the Bill Belichick of fantasy. See, it sounds like I'm reading like I'm in high school again, like I'm just reading my notes. And I want it to be like more authentic, so I just got to look at them real quick. And anyways, you are the Bill Belichick of fantasy, Sean Guy. God dang it. Anyway, the biggest lames of the league are Triple C and Schtick. I don't know. It's like Triple C cares way more about baseball and I don't know. It's like he's got too many friends. Like if it's me, I take a couple of good friends over a bunch of okay friends. That's just me. And speaking of friends, Schtick, you can stick a Schtick up your bum and analyze my foot up your mom's poo-poo. And that's all. Remember, my voice, everything I do, it's all an act. None of this is really real. I know before this that I probably could be, painting or whatever people do to improve their life. I mean, doing yoga, something to help my medical condition. But instead, I choose to go down the giant black hole, which is known as watching every single NFL game and then analyzing football that two people may or may not listen to. Anyways, that's my spiel. You guys have a great week this week. My predictions are in, and good luck to you all. Thank you.